It's a special and a wonderful Tuesday morning. Good morning and welcome to the Dialogue Show on Net2 Television. My name is Stephen Kwame Abu Kudan Kwamwa. You can simply call me Air Commodore. I am your host with the most, and I am your moderator from this hour to the hour of 9:20 on Net2 Television. Abuja, me mo ache amu akwaba Edward ba the Dialogue Show eso anopai. Yes, Kunya Brown, so was here the Dialogue Show no every war. Production team no be a from there. I'm a Jumadi no sweat me Edru Asumo. Na said the war when it chan on a pubiano bar. Yet the no walker tam so eba yet the interviews I draw or so and a room sacrament some so ye every war. Now for your neighbor for Esim Kunya or the Dialogue Show so in some way to go or my gun Mbono and say I don't pay your best enough for yedim come out draw Eddie Ama. Wouldn't say public tribunal no. Enso hu nkomo ewo amamra no emu se wa amamra no mu akwan be na amamra no fa so se yenye ewo se hyehye mra ye de bebo ho bra sa mra no ye hyehye ye anasen enete ena me no ka sei efom tugu a emfa mra kwan so galamsey emu nsem ebra na omampani a ote adwa so ebonto ano se ye wo kimpins no ewo ho dada enti kimpins no na ye bekire wo mo na ye jai wo mo mututu no kakran no. But I can attest to the fact to say Minya sure so be galamsey adwuma e de excavator be galamsey adwuma da bi. I can remember when I was working at Nkoko na Akroma Gold Fields Limited and as Akroma Gold Limited. Omo koche o mabrofo bi e was somewhere abremu kwan so ba bi e frɛ kro bi we see and an important ho ba bi na ye dom court. I was part of delegation a court to say ye kohwese a tre galamsey fo bi. Judge no any lawyer say gina mu chese sa ankrofo no nya galamsey because yemfa galamsey adwuma na ye yemfa excavator ntu galamsey da bi galamsey de ye tu a ye just yemmon kofo mtwehwe sa ne mana na ye galamsey ba obi kofo excavator so tu enko ade na ye mining site ena omde ampane ampa ye scrutiny ekohwe ye ne Akroma Gold go ekom yard ho ekohwe ye ma ye drill ko ba bi a to gold no excavator and kasa ne si asase na se na etu gold and the concessions ne nema e ho no e che se that field no ye omodia so I am nwanwa kakra se ebeka so bi to galamsey na galamsey na otu no the excavator ne to galamsey e wo man mu sometimes what nsem ne bia ya na hu se de se kase ya anye permission ye tu dia then fine because I no nya galamsey o se kase ya anye permission ye tu ana concession no ya anye concession na yetu dia but the word galamsey no it is gather them themselves. So where are you gathering it from? Asasena se na gather no to betu ni sen ni nyina no ye nkomo a ye ne mpanefo bedie na ya hwe omo ye galamsey na nkasa esoso ebi wo ho a nkomo ahodo no ye betimi ade afa ho eno achi nsoso no ye wo saa nkomo na ye bomu a kire se tribunal court no se be si court ana se ye bekeka kampanifo bi abom and of course aban owoso no na ebetimi apaw sa mpanifo no locals men no de bepam sa mpanifo no na mpanifo bepom no omo ye hefo na bepom so omo kɔ board na na se omo constitute the tribunal board no na omo ne dwuma ni nyina no ye enkomo a ebedie de ama ewo dwumadi so anopa dwumadi ne very very packed action a ewo so eye pa ntanopa ye nkɔ na ye nkɔhwɛ abrena brina menumi redi asedama erade nyankopon sanso no mankwa wese a edem ne keka wa bia eni hu etu anopa bia etise ye so anopa ye kokuma se dan nyame na afi ye de ani akoto nyankopon ne hyehye ya waye ede aman na hobambo de ama ye firi ho a na afi ye aba kuma se da aban na ya bedan aban ahwe se de eniema ebekɔ afa na afi kra no ye de ani akoto kuani ye okrobu ho efe no da aba ukɔ western region ho a yo baby efre ho da ba e na akwa central region so e wodade so aba enso e ho so na yakodan kuani ne do a wado aba enuaba no na dade no do ye no aso ama na bi no mienu nyina afri ho a yakodan kuani esanse yefru de o da pafo nti obetwan akoze da ban wuni di anya de na yefru bedan wa mo de nti fri ho a na fe yaba bedan kuani nti akuafo nyina mo acha no pai yanka se mumfifiri sam ene mo hasutie ene de aduane si table so ma yemienu nyina de anopai yara mase papa na yawie ne saa no na ewose de asedama de aseda se no sanso no nkuto no mankwa wese a edem ne kekan wa bia eni hu to anopa bia etise se sori anopa sen ya na e wose da na sinta Psalm 104 yi Nyankopɔn kase ye di e de chos me Nyankopɔn no a wahye han sa atade no watro so me senta matam na se duro nwumra a emoduma nyina pie kopɔ mu no aduane wo se mode mom omtase na me omkra na sade eche a ombutubutu omatu ma nipa friko munwuma so no munwuma ho kwasisa de be sign asambim. That is the reason why we no mienu nyina na wose sorry na ye ba enwuma so be ye adwuma de ba oman no etumpon kɔ n'animu yemfa sedama no sanso no no wahye se obemma enua nutan afifiri aba ewo anwa prada da so no bie nso ani wa abom ma atrom nya bi kum su kom Nyankopɔn we won som na hwan na abesom no e so na aba so badware asɔre akɔtena asɔre dem nko a e na kyerɛ sɛ wosum Nyankopɔn yesum Nyankopɔn wa akomam o se nipa hwɛ ni wam na Nyankopɔn de wo hwɛ akomam ti am akomam nte why na woni nipa nyina entena yie na enkoso yenkɔ Psalm 130 nkɔhwɛ de Nyankopɔn atwerɛ e wo ho se ifra brunkukum fewrade erade tie ne papa ya so tie me kotosere gya wo nhwɛ mumuye na senka wo hwɛ mumuye anka hwan ene begina e wo anim na so na fache e wo fam ne esro to do a Nyankopɔn ma me no mienu eso na ekron na yekese pa anopai yada na se awie ne yemra oman mu na anu mpanifo bi hyehyɛ to ho se so wo oman mu timamuni a fasade ne bobra na enkoyie eno nti by the power lavished on me as a moderator yenkɔgye pledge no mra na no pa ni ehwɛ se yetimi di so ana yentimi ni so.
The pledge. I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. I pledge myself to the service of Ghana with all my strength and with all my heart. I promise to hold in high esteem our heritage won for us through the blood and toil of our fathers, and I pledge myself in all things to uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. So help me God.
Mono Christianity, the Islamic religion, and the traditional. And it's what far the Christianity ni dia and the okasem we are seeing Yankopon wow na etimiye. Abuja, there wuye bia there is somebody somewhere marking you or titete hon kakra kakra uye ni ya no atwa uye yenye ni ya no akroso sa a day will come wa ebe judge from what they entrusted to in so uye kuyani and ye do man no fertilizers ahodo ya subsidize fertilizer dia ma se fa ye adwuma na aduaba na ma na okoton wa ye cheke se uye edwadini ena nema akofa baaye no se de wo de be ma nipa mo maton no o yire bo no so etwen ama ya akwakoduru se ya sey expiring date akana ena de be ba monten so abeton wa ye cheke ni nyina no ye cheke na saa de ma we nyina ye wi a na ye demonstration a mesesa ni pan menye bi wa ye dwadini a wabo okonkoto osamugum sagarugum a asichire osagum wabo konkoni to a emma ne ma na yesa wo sa no pepepe ma nipa ni nya no pepa cho ye demonstration menye bi wa woton enwo wo de kala foforo akofram a enti anwona ni ayeko nipa bedi ayare no wo fa so pebo ni nti wo ye demonstration ye wo ne ye tia enye bi wa wo de tia ban mu a wa de aban sika ebo ho ne wo bra de hwe wo yire ne wo made to ka se damu saa nipa no ye demonstration ye wo na ye tia enye bi wa ye mampani a for man sika koye bibi no de kodua confirm de koye confirm de kofa nkokon ketekete eba ye na fe obi anya ho mfaso obie no ye demonstration enye bi sanso wo na ye demonstration etia wo. So ade bia obeye mfamfaso de mfamrobi wo ye nurse ni ye de oman no esikatua oka kone kosa yare ma obi hu ntono no na so ohwe manipa ni wu a ye demonstration enye bi eye wo na ye tia wo. Nti misra ya hwiye e wo saa kwan no esoro pai ewiem sakram sem don hwede no na ye die nim sen na ye afa na yenkɔhwɛ sɛ de ewiem sakram sem no etie na yenhunu sɛ de besom ene e wo man na fe yentoto ya na mo yie pa. Anopa ye hunu se ebo kakra ewo wiem Ghana fana ba bebre no ano ebo kakra ewo ho eno nam so bema mia bi wo ho a ensuo kakra grada wo betimi agugu kwa tifi do mantemu a ensuo agugu wo ho na dwofa no mu aba besi ena anopa Ghana ya na afofam no nso ye betimi enya ensuo kakra san ebo kakra ewo wiem ebo no ofo ba bia kwaye breto wo ba bia mepo ena nutan ewo a utim se emu onyo papa ene anopai eda no ekwani mu no awiabobrem ne ehwe ni mu se awia akrabe ni ti ede amaye ne no so kra no ebo kakra betimi aba besanka awiem ye ehwe ni mu se enso kakra grada wo betimi agugu ede amaye kanka Ghana ye tifi efom ne ya na ya hye no so anopai ye gina me bi de se aflawo angloga enkran kasoa Winneba Cape Coast akwade yazim ho kofodua achimoda kwa utafu kumase oboa seta kwa sahwebekwa ekitikrache atebu adwura kintampo gosu sunyane tachiman ene ne mpotemo no anopai mununkum kakra ewo wiem na wohwe mununkum egina wiem no a egina ohamobu pen aduanan kosi na aduasia eso ebo kakra so wiem de man anopai ahohye no susupro no so no egina free 23 ekosi 25 degrees Celsius awia bobrem no awia akrabe ni ti ede ama omanfo ewo aflawo angloga enkran kasoa ebetime nya awia kakra afa su kra no baby de se kumasefo nso betime nya awia kakra nemu mawia bobrem no ebo kakra ba besanka awiem eno nam so ma wo ketekrate ne mpotem a utie ya betime nya nsuo egina hamobu pen aduasa ahohye no bepeja awia bobrem obra awia no atimi ama ne homene so no anopai de no a egina 23 kosi 25 degrees Celsius no eba begina 28 and afa su kwa no 32 akoso kwa no 33 degrees Celsius enwumre no ebo kakra ba besanka awiem na fe ewiem adwo ede ama ya hohye no eso ate aba begina 25 and akoso kwa no 27 degrees Celsius yenko Ghana atifi famu emia bi de say Yendi Tamale Bole Damango Bogatanga na Lelugu wa Japa ene ne mpotemo na no pay omo enya nsuo ewo ho ma hohye no anase nsuo na egugu ewo sa miamia no egina hamobu pen aduanan 40% na chese nsuo no eto ewo ho o ma hohye no gina free 24 ekosi 25 degrees Celsius awia bobrem no awia akrabe ni ti ede amomo awia mu no wa ena Japa tie yom betime enya nsuo eno no egina hamobu pen aduasa eme aka na awia ebebo ewo tifido mantemo ede amoma no nam so bemo ma hohye no apeja anopa ide no akogina 32 and afen so 34 degrees Celsius na chese nwumre no o ma hohye no so ate aba begina 28 and 29 degrees Celsius obra ebo kakra eba besanka wiemu ede amom na epono so ena ebrada epono so eyedi de ma afarefo no nenso esanse na ebrada yenkopunti no de be ya ne se omo home kakra na afi epono so ntai di mfama enam no se na be ya de achi ukoda ombetimi akopo na fo makohese de ebetimi anya bi enunti don hwede no na ya edi anim ise na wiem sakrem sam no eye afa ene aropai agokanse mrante no wakwanya so obeba na afi yetimi asi akan na ansa na no yenkohwe yem motivation ene aropai the production team no ensem o mo ka che na aropai and say discipline today, create freedom tomorrow. A simple message. Discipline today, it create freedom tomorrow. So you be a discipliner. Ade we yamfanto ade ato, ehame nkwa ha wanko, ade we menye wanya. That discipline no a wo ye no, it create freedom tomorrow. Okay? It is all man mu. Yes, ye say, eno na wo ye. Emfa ha eno na wofa we yaban mu pani o to ade ana so disika ekoye ade ama oman no a yeden koje approval no ekwa be na efa so ye to ade ewo oman mu procurement laws wa say efa so no se wo ye procurement manager ewo adwuma mu a emra ye fa so procure ne ma na eno na wofa so no ana so fa so a ebe create freedom the amount the following day. Because I didn't can't see any what scrutinize and say ade we ameton we will have value for money and I'm a far procurement laws so and I'm a law enti ya be a competitive tendering ade ama say obi a wodi sefata sesa ade no betimi aye no fa onkrata bra ampa ye scrutinize hweye no nipa sumasi na ne mfidie ne niema nyina contract no ye betimi di ama no nti ye di ama no it create freedom tomorrow because obi enu ho ba be how ekwan ye so fa so no eno so na fa na mum okoye nkuntuna se kataso mu aso bi yesi yemie competitive tendering now the onkwa wakwaye single sourcing wakwaye sole sourcing ehu asem beba na ehu asem ba ebeba odin aban foforo beba now e beka cho so wadi oman ni sika enye se bia odutwa wanu mu nemu project kwa ka ase fa sika no koye no enye na ode koye enti wadi oman ni sika na fe oman no yire so se wo yes discipline enne no a create freedom tomorrow for you ya wampanifo no bi ombeso oman no a ebesi nne police kwan no kura ontwa mu na nkampese wakose ye di na nkampese yoko akono ho because kwan ofo aso ye na adwuma no obie no ni asem e wo oman ni mo sa pepepe na meka kire wo a menu mieru nyina ye adwuma no se ade eye uni amanfo dia mesrew uni amanfo nche ade eye onko ade afa ne se bi a ye adwuma na sika bi aba so uni utim no monye na monche abusia se uni utim no monye na monche ade a ene wuye so ma utim ne bi se ye de o challenge adwuma anu ase de obo adwuma no ya ade pa o challenge we na aya de a credit eno de o de ma wo personal ba so ka so munyi we no uni utim no monche a unua se onko akokofa ede wo kam a that particular person no will know the truth ade no de ma ono no unua no anche e ba saa and create freedom and farmer. So what is the production team telling you today? And they say the discipline you do today will create freedom tomorrow for you. Dwendwen sanse me ho afi emfantu ebra emu na yenko yennim. Abusia meeting yours truly Kwame Abu-Akuda Nkwamoa obecha from air commentator your host with the most and your moderator enche agokansi mrantene ba abeje adwa in a minute na asante ebo a journey na afi order the world of sports atwaye so. The world of sports no ye de eto so na matching akwaba
ye nua
boko de
onyame waye mekese
yes on watare na ehye on ye say political suit
me politician
enti obehum rase bedwafo no ministers no ne MPs no mo na msen ya na o matade na kama pa de opam ye nso ayade afata so pa ye monwura mu ewa agokansie mu se de ye wie we ase amansan kruwa no afa ne baba ya tese ese Black Queens so say omso obi under 17 fo so obi ombekọ as to when and ombekọ no momentum no asesua compared to what we and channel 2 omo na ekobo Black Star de no a
one was a World Cup the biggest football event.
Okay.
Some cast the biggest sporting event on the planet. And whereas the whole world will be watching and all different from a continent back home. Until you may be right over Casabia, attention I yedema way and yeah no na yedema way. But I know the way Casa that should wait for sunshine for another day.
Okay.
But Bibiane unfortunately no right. The World Cup is the biggest event and no doubt about that. The amount of money involved is huge. You know, what can and no one summer ayana bibi
right.
And the only thing is benefits I had to say cocoa everywhere and our oil. I mean countries in will be a pressure will be mistake.
That's
and
right.
Media part of the cake. It's up to us as a people. Yako work up in a be review work up na yako no and for so ebaso. Then you be to nya be improve impact be the benya your local football. So these are things yakwaba no ese ye.
Right.
Na yebisa ho asem. Ebia started a take stock of the AC. Mexico, they are looking at the benefits. What is it that we can do? And if you look at statements, if you Trump will say, well, they can come back again without Mexico, Canada. I mean, you know how he does things. And the US and also for say it brought something into their economy.
Okay.
So why not try it again? But I know they because it move
around
any country.
But he can do all things. You be honest, a man red card was here or phrase say you rescind the decision now or you obliged to ye.
At the end, say, there were rules, BBI.
Okay.
No Kasai, say one kashi, and a FIFA come out to say, okay, US are appealing against the record decision. No, BBI, nobody will say anything.
Okay.
It's just because, and I say, oh, then when I will push him, yet overturning that decision. So, it's not be all power or the baby power play. It's everywhere, depending on the be a near man. I say we take your source of power.
Right.
By name say already 2030 World Cup echo Morocco, Spain, and Portugal, and 2034 so called Saudi Arabia.
Right.
It's in Arabia 2038.
And a besamba.
A call number US.
Right.
Which I doubt very much because the other continents, Asia, yes, Echo Saudi need 34 Asia will be out. So we'll be looking at Africa. So we are ready. Africa, so Morocco, 30. It takes it from us. Europe and so anything is possible.
Can it happen, say, country be call a World Cup war, country be or bra, country no, a team any movie? Has it happened before?
Not possible.
Right.
So, or no, host country.
Okay.
Automatically or qualify into no credit. The question doesn't even arise.
Right.
Or be a year ball, be an automatically qualifies to partake in the World Cup. And logistics involved in this things are huge. It takes a lot of human resource, cash, everything to pull this things through.
Right.
I mean, Obi bisa say na flag na ye de to no. Omo ye a country bia ne de. I mean, baby e be ko bia everything is spot on.
The omo de to e form homa.
Every dot, every square is sticked. Bibi no normal. Esisa time. Bibia eda so it takes a lot of things. Movement of players, 3 countries, teams, officials. We be waha so kwa. It takes a lot of effort. And that form say yeah. On that note of hosting, yes, so your president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, yes, in future, you upgrade your infrastructure, no, or better say you be co-host AFCON, no, and the other country. It look like Cote d'Ivoire 4 and I know more, and was and your manitino.
Now the host to one penico 4 pence, they come 208 near the
AFCON Libya.
Sunday, I give pen now, or some president and co host to be.
I know they said 94 US, it was still work out.
Okay.
And no more,
right.
And Spain, it was still work up in 1982. Cohort 2030.
Right.
Countries, they host work up. Germany, host to be a sample 2006. So, I know they depending on our bid. Say a koye mauna ye be foul ye de bema wana
right
amount.
Aha nti he wa ho mampani ata na show no political suit ni bia na show.
Oh okay.
So what you say?
My brother. My big brother.
So what you say? Aha nti.
And Ghana Premier League so release on calendar for the upcoming season 2027.
Right.
26-27 season no release a calendar. And Summer Tech FC so are appointing Anakweku Agyapong as summer head coach for the upcoming season. And also our home. Yanko Amanone Kakra. Oh, we work up on it, movement of players and coaches. Enra ena yete say Sky Italy a report say Italy and Pep Guardiola edin komo said the Pep eba befa Italian national team no. Azuri now qualify for 2 consecutive World Cups, which it's not the real deal for a year Italy. And movement of coaches, yes, and you can see on your screen the La Fonte famous quote: "There are not one but 1,000 reasons to believe in God. Without God, nothing in life happens." Let me tell you something about this man. Papa we a coach or coachy and also manages Spanish national team. He is a family man, and before a game and the start of the tournament, or friend a family ebisa eno mo eden na o ma ba nyina say obi anya baby atena no atom. There was this incident, photographer, official photographer of the federation, and so he was bereaved of players in nyina ene nyina eya two echiche ne re. He makes sure say players no eye ne ma. They get the best of protection, the best of advice. BBBR, and he is Obia Ninyame som awoso.
Right.
So na ne oni nisi akan no so eye Lionel or ye Argentine coach no ono so sa na eti. So young call players and also rumors are echo we enya rumor. Fatau Abdul Ishaku, no Leicester or a Ghanaian.
Okay.
Likely so occur Ipswich and Ra. Now he was scheduled to have his medical for a 20 million move to Ipswich Town. John Stones.
No, one son, World Cup, now World Cup participation, and so I increase the chances of living there. No?
Oh, sir, Osha World Cup, no, one should
enough time. Yes.
When you want a player,
enough time will be
you monitor the player for some time and son I will make it
right. You move on.
John Stones and so or a free agent now. It's been rumored. They say Arsenal somebody to me Akashin on John Stones. Arsenal likely somebody sign center half this season. Man United and Arsenal Korea are fighting over France and Roma player your friend of Manu Kone and also say Kone Manu or also or more April. Then finally on a sad note, one of the greats, the legends of English football and world and so Kevin Keegan onyame atonsa afreno Keegan Esiakan Emma Liverpool, Hamburg, Newcastle and other teams. He was a legend of the game. He coached the team, both Liverpool and Newcastle United. Our condolences to the family, English FA, and the football fraternity as a whole. Then, Yawasheno said, Onyamede nebe to the pa. May his perfect soul rest in peace. Right. On that sad note,
right.
Very
well. And I'm now saying pay now. I say within the week in the best sense, na ye didi enkomo ahodo e wo so anopay. Right, I will say a song, say, yeah, the entertainment, every was CJ Winters joining in a minute. 39 after 7 also about Ponsimano Eduasa and Cron CJ Winters I crowd CJ Aquaba.
Yeah.
Minimum entertainment arena non komope brenoa and a woman.
Definitely.
Right. My own the woman be na fe yen said them komono echo.
Okay. But I say abusia fo anope no nye chuo pe nye tumi o morning ha nye chuo pe and dina mi akata CJ Winters enemy din anope no dialogue essay entertainment bits no me fam bremo na said yana commodore can we've got a lot more but the SF fatan no and I to me and ya bremo so be with me come with me Nadia and komobia wobia no I'm going to share with you live on here be you on Facebook and I say YouTube and I say wow we'll share print no nini na no ewo ho na Mesha say with a story from Jackson Kebentum. Na Oden Krato Eddie Akwama Ghana Mampeni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Na asema all kanisi MPP no na ensembi etumi tutu nipa ewo kwan mu yare bi betimi ato. Na asema okay no is in line with KK awunya ni baby kwa endra mebeka na asem ewa ha no. Na MPP na wo honom a yare bi betimi ato wa sebio tafrache ukutokum enya de ebetumi aboa ukutokum entumi moa agi se bia ebusuafo bi nomo anasa adofo bi nomo anasa bia wo link bia na obetumi enya sika e de akwakọ hwe wo ho yare na ode asemi no ekoto social media enti ne wo really out kakra na yen hwe dia filmmaker Jackson Kebentum eka enti o say message to the president and I read after the passing of one of our industry legends, Kwejo Kwache, aka KK, I sat down and reflected deeply. I asked myself, does this country truly belong to all of us? When a citizen faces a serious challenge beyond their personal control, the government of the day should have systems in place to support them. The resources and taxes of the people are entrusted to the government to help take care of its citizens. Okay. But what we often see is that people struggle to get help unless they know someone in authority. Governance should not belong to a particular group of people or a political party. It belongs to the entire nation. I believe every government should establish a special fund to respond to critical situations and support citizens in times of urgent need, using the resources generated from our taxes. So let me end it just here, because at least we've got what we want. And in the taxes, our nipa dasani biya Ghanaian biya no, citizen biya no. There should be a fund in case of any incasity. Na say biya kwejo and I say ya ek oyare. Na yare oyare na enye just say biya normal condition bi na mom it needs something extra ehia sika bebre ti say kidney failure si ne ekeka hu ya ehia sika bebre say omode be treat nipa na nka ya kosa funds no makwakope sika kakra e de ahwe nipa no because ene nkofu pi na ehwehwe won kwa because yare ne ba me ka say bia na sa nipa no ono no oni obi a obedi nanim ababe raise funds e de ama no wo Okay.
If you could remember, your trade union congress TUC4.
Okay. Okay.
Say beer, you may music and you said that more humbra say as it was coming to us creating to be say creative industry.
Okay.
Because there was some
and see a call now making no. He's not saying because Nipa already the person is gone. He's dead. And see or no also Otiwana say or reflecting on what is happening now. He believes say as a citizen otuya tax no. O tax utuya no there should be a fund be a tax be bekwa kogu honom. Now in case of ebia or china be besia then we go into that fund no now you're taking something little to take care of those people in need of the money and that's in need there was a yes or not yes because it is true. Recently yes Tabako, she's also a journalist, and then journalists came out raising funds and all that, and then the Nyankopon ya adom na eja Ibrahim Mahama be mu a obe sorting it out. So does it mean say anka enye say be a journalist and I say wo obi yare na say wenya obi ama fama meto abonti and raise funds that I just say you go and say no, this is what he is thinking and all he is calling for. Right, so let's look into other stories. Na ebusia legendary KK Fusu, Ghanaian musician, and na ononso ode nasem ababeto abonten na asem okanyina ni say emri bi etwe mu no na nka opese eja politics no ode ne hu bi, but an incident happened which was an accident. Accident taking him. That was 2024 election. But it couldn't happen because of an accident he had. But this time round, 2028. Obe say ononso no. Obe to me ejina na nanso no akwa pray for member of parliament. Na yeah, semu constituency or person okono is the same constituency as Honorable Samuel Uku Ewo. And on he's not going for any party B, I say party A and I say party B, but what he's looking for is an independent candidate, and he believes say no matter what voters there, they know whom they want. And it doesn't matter say be our party B and now if party B I say now back. I know they don't really, it doesn't really matter, but they will look at nipa obetumi aboa na omo vote to edia mani nti Nyankopon ya adoma or he said 2028 ahead of us. Nyankopon di embedu onom. So
you ask yourself, say, what is happening in the country? What is happening in the country? I say musicians, actors, person for.
Nothing is really happening.
Starting from John Dumelo. And then Kwame A+, and then who is this KK Fusu? So you ask yourself, what is happening?
Nothing is happening.
It means that they are not fighting. Omu needs at least said that then Penida da akufo-addo ka say obey creative there. Almost say film was act village being there kaka ho ebesi na amam neba bi say ye de bo ene yes kuma would egu say go what is happening
movie back when come up
no dey no say nya ba akopɛ de na be mana kama na sa ahwe so now just imagine say sa ba akona ahwe ye no e dada wa yi ana say enra yi a na oyi so fine I feel no more revive because the time they now say movie no I say omo ankasa mo hono ntokwa besim de kaka so akade so munya no it is the same as sebedwafo na na hyehyɛ sa ne ma ni nyina because you were a whole committee creative industry committee under committee bi omo council omo sem obi anka ema omo a then they will before say so omo akọ no ko make omo west known and ni nyina gina Ghana for sem be kwa anase mo but by and large no aso omo peview we ni kakra say mienu don dumele ko na A+ so echo so kakra right
if you are paying not for so no omo you ready for KK Fusu it's Oreba 2028 no Oreba pa it's muti nya no munsam na mo believe say obetimi aboa mo na I feel you take it from there. Now let's move on to other stories. Now this one no Nyankopon ya adoma 2027, some few months ahead of us. Not just say 2027. Now set March so we know say Ghana their birthday. So a lot is going to happen in 2027 the line of high life. Ana amafupi na ena high life ewu that hefa na moko see high life wu ye enti na munya abotre na high life na fe kra na ye ba be hye emuden kra ma na ya kono kra ma na asanso ayede enti Nyankopon ya domo mo tremu a omba be ye high life no okay omba be ye jumadi an event omode be promote high life, and it's not even just going to be Ghana, it's going to be across nations. Bebia and omobeye sa jumedino enye Ghana hanomon kuto. So they are looking up to it say somewhere September, next 2 months, no, I'm going to me a launch na Ghana's 70th anniversary, no, I'm going to me a promote high life amanaya kono, and they are looking at some artists like Stoneboy more, Bravo more, and Nat Amanziba more, you know, a whole lot more, and biggest DJs across. And I'm with your more ebedi jumedi. So anytime you hear somebody saying, say, high life is dead, you know, please look straight into their eyes and tell them high life is not dead, high life is alive, and high life will surely and forever be alive. So we are looking up to that. It's a good call. So when it comes, when it happens, we are going to support it and then make it beautiful. Right. So Ebusia Edu Chumwa a Stoneboy, Vida Edu Chumwa a Stoneboy ni PR. Ain't anything about Stoneboy be babu nti anase baba media ni mubiano. This lady is the one now taking care of it. Na sema oka any say Stoneboy you be or no sa publicity stunts aya some artists be more no. Stoneboy doesn't do that. On yes no. Ebia Stoneboy wa album bi or de ba bonten and also wo nwum bi or de ba bonten na wa create bibia enye no kware send ye be ya people's attention will be on him when they release it and nwum na send album and I say it or concert be ya. Stoneboy doesn't do that. On yes no. Stoneboy yes no. Now Bibeka said recently he made a tweet to be in line of say Sakodie and our face so no Shatawali or more friendship no a pretense and all that Ninina no was Bibiana it was there a Bibiana a rainy at that time Entia and a Stoneboy caught to it but it wasn't for him to gain attention and it wasn't for people to keep on talking about him. He doesn't need people to make him relevant. He's doing a good job already and he knows what he does. And he doesn't need people's attention. And I say he doesn't need to create something before people will know say he's doing something beautiful or he's doing a great job. So that is what NPR no my last story will be about Moisha. And you know you say Moisha Budon ARA for some years now. Yebeshena I said when you stroke and tin saba kon to me page first Friday no to me nante but insurance Kenya coupon says is here no to me nante but still now she's recovering or recovering. Last week or two we had a video of her and that's the pictures of her orchestra and this time around it is Harold Apakosra Moisha Budon. Now they are vibing, having a good time and all that. So you can see that on your screens. Many times, this is what we should do for our friends when they need us. Our friends in need, it is not always about money, but things like this, it's really something cool. So let's have the sound and let's watch something beautiful this morning.
Sound good. Won't you ride by my side, night and day? Shake that thing, miss. Can I shake that thing, miss? Annabella, shake that thing, yeah. Da. Jody and we make rap show. Get busy, just shake that booty and stop when the beat drop. Just keep shaking it, get jiggy. Get drunk, up, percolate anything you want because it's absolutely but don't take pity. Want to see you get life on the rhythm of the ride and my lyrics over my leg. Kencity Media. Very special, really and truly.
Okay, so this is the biggest healing friends could give to a friend. What he say? So, Moisha ne friends ni we believe say this is the kind of things and send you healing process a be faster because sometimes I whole cramp a bit me atwe no asan akọ be 15 years and sana but when you get people around you motivate you, they will play with you, they will talk with you, omema we ni eje ni ade kra na eboa healing process no. Sometimes I said it earlier that it's not always about money, but keep good friends. Keep good friends. Friends are sebio tafrache men can say besio and they say ya na se wokokoma when you come back. Hena na obehu se ogina ho na obie wani a wo se wo yonkuni. Hena na obebie wani no na obehu se ogina ho. Keep good friends and be a good friend to your friends as well. Because if you're a good friend to people, people would also be good friends to you. Sometimes it doesn't happen like that, but all the time, or no, Omodian say you be a good friend to somebody. And whenever our friends are in need, it is not always about shika. Shika die hu hia pa, but you know, our chichire said ye be ya no be ben ni pa no ne na akasa ne di nkomo no. Ni nyina no eboa e ma sa situation na nipa ne wo mo no. Etumi eboa. Our chichire wo nipa ho. What kind no wo moa. So do something good to a friend. So today is Tuesday. So let me leave it all here now. See
right.
you with us any
right, arapa ye na se na fe yemra na enkoma hodo e ho na face kra no na obokrata mo boso no so yemfa emro na arapa yi. Right, abusia yan hwe na fe yenkwe breakfast calendar no so ene eye benada na July bosom ne de toso aduonu ba ko mfim pino ne aduonu ensia emo ene ka ho ye twa na no makomako 21 days with the month of July emo aka 10 days and Sunday the month of July no akọ na wieye ekoka ena ye twa no ho anachese ye twa 202 days ewa afi 2026 aka 163 days and Sunday the 2026 akọ na wieye don share ye twa no se net mi kona wieye na ye nyankopon adomo am na ye twa 4848 hours ewo afi 2026 emo aka 3912 hours and Sunday the 2026 akona wieye bosumi wo mu yi bosumi etoso enso the 7th month of the month of the year of 2026 and aka bosumi na makomako enum 5 months na wo ho edema 2026 na wo twa wo mu ye na wo twa etoso enan ewo July bosomi no makana wotwen ba akwa asane de July bosomi no so atimi akona wieye ene eye de etosomi no ewo na wotwen a etoso enan no emu and akana wotwen menafo no mensa ansane na wotwen a etoso enan no so atimi akona wieye se ne eye wa woda ye fa kwanya we so na ya wo show a happy glorious birthday na ya celebrity with you na ene no yenkai Professor John Evans Fifi Atamils na otiase ankane na woda former president of Ghana 2009 to 2012 yewono 21st July 1944 and ofimu 24th July 2012 at the age of 68 years into yekai Professor John Fifi Atamos, former president of Ghana. Na yenkai Lieutenant General Abed Kwesi Okran. Na Lieutenant General Abed Kwesi Okran a former member Presidential Commission 1969 kosi 1970. Ya on 21st July 1929 and ofimu March 2019 at the age of 89 years. Enti yenkai penifobia ti say na ya Honorable Charles Kwesi Agbeve na woda. Na Honorable Charles Kwesi Agbeve a vice chairperson at the local government and rural development committee where mrasibe dwene a wojema agoti meziope abato empesuas. Ya on 25th July 1970 and Honorable Charles Kwesi Agbeve anya 56 years. E say wudu awoda woni mpanifo a etise ne dia awoda no ene ebehwe na fe yakwa homa so ne ne mpanifo ahodo bi edi nkomo the tribunal emra no opese ode eba no emu nkomo ne ntiase etise ya santo ya krado e wo fidiem ha na obokrata mo boso no na fe ne interviews ahodo nso etime rom ya akwaba
enua
boko de
nyame adona nso
right yeso adom se me ho ye pa ye hwe na obokrata no emu boso sede enkomotie
Ebusiana se yatsena se ewo netu de jumedi sumra so de bokata hodo amesaka bedini enim no etudwa ediama me sha se no pay edi the Ghanaian Times asha se ediama okata fam etoso miensa na enrada anopa be se nondu ekono na oman konkro Ghana baby ayedin na afi baby nsuhuro ne nyina efa chema wontimi ne ho nsenkae na ewo mu ewo court a anano ada krata de ba ye na mbebo amane se court se enche bia na asem de beka wie enti se chema wontimi wo ba fie asomdwe mu anampo se entansa hodo akoto de abono no wo kwa kotwe eho asotwe wo prison no ye de ba besom wo na enura ni na akwa wie enti anopen krata no e de aba de Ghanaian Times katafa etoso me yesa na ebo ya amane se chema wontimi enam illegal mining eho nsenkae bia ye de bo no ewo court no anu yi ahodra na sese wo yiyi ene evidence ahodra na chema wontime kire se bia ahodra wo to asase ana oye galams wo ye mining wo ho ana enye galamse no evidence na sese chema wontime de ba court no wantimi amfa ma afensenkaye ne anu yi ahodra bi wo ha court chese wantime yi anu se ne etie ena court nso ema witness a wo mu bekasa edgina mu edema chema wontime adanse de na kire se chema wontime ensase ahodra na wo wa na wo ye mining wo so no ebi wo ha wo wi a wo ton de ma nipa fofo nte kama se konkwachi kokodwadie ena chema wontime eye ebi obia ebi ti se samra boy kwa no ho na woni permit wo ha se wo tu gold bi e wo ho na so chema wontime de mrahye ne sem sa pen no e ka se na ban ne wo so enu to ye ne mebi ensem fata internet court se won konkoda mu 20 years ano pay the Ghanaian Times e de ho nsenkaye no aba beto anim ha se ya MPP amanyuko no wo mo so akasa e de afa ho na me free ho na makokrata fa etoso du miensa anopai so afa wono enehwe yenuane die so anasa Minister for Food and Agriculture eyeyewura opoku Eric na wode aba betu dwasem enkukwa kitenkete initiative ya Ghana mampani wa John Dramani Mahama ede ba ye no ade abua yie papa na wose wotete wonam na wotete o se Ghana fo bi crash ase kase Ghana mampani wa John Dramani Mahama wa ya ade sanse policy we ya wode baye na ne fapem ene se ye betimi ahwe ema enkukwa nam akukọ force ye kra edifin conformance so de baga na hana ebi wo ha ye shepe kwa be se 3 months na emedru Ghana afa ebedu ase ne be ye be koko store na obi ba koto bie na ode be ye aduane ene natural bar restaurant ahodo na akukọ force ya wo kwa yes akukọ ne nsan chicken wings na is wo twa 7 na ode obi aduane so wo mo se ne be ya ebeba from na ye ka se betimi ahye ye poultry ne wo Ghana ha se betimi ahye mo kena enu nti na mampani ede nkokon kitenkete initiative ne baaye na owura Eric Opoku kire se mampani de baaye so abeboa pa esan se wo se na wo komontin so ase ne first na kohia boye den ene wo kohia ewo dwama so ate se kohia bua Ghana fo ye ton bi mienu nyina 5 cities ento ase we first quota na se first face ye na ye di mu adanse se mampani dwumadi a wo hya ase no ekọ awie papa anase ahya ase yi a ewo gina bia bi ewo manimo eno chikwa no wose ne fapema na ye se nkukofo osia ye credit free ekofo man so de ba ha no ye betini esi ano anampo se ye nka ne dodo no eno so aban ni gusu a wo hwe se enche ebetimi abasa se ne be ya dwumadi na wo hya ase ne betimi awie mu die nebo ne wedi kan bo ho abaso a wakache Ghana fo se mampani aye na ye adansefo ne se ne kohia bu ukodwa manso ebi okwa yese miensa 3 cedi nkofo kwa ka se we ye nkokọ kitenkete policy ya mampani ye wo mu kohia na aba wo mu kyeremu se eyade a eba beboa enu ti Ghana fo na ye nhwe nimwe na mo nhwe nkokọ yese modi ye nkwan mo de anyinyi a mo chiwe ne mode ye stew ahodro ne yesere mu enye san mampani ka se ye de ba be ye o se ye de ba be bo ma kokofo se ye kra de ba no aba fo nti mo chiwe ne so munyai na entimi mo mampani policy no na se ha sen so ananwa de bebo wa mane se wukopie mu ewo dabo a wo he popra wo ho ya na Abubakari watsoa na nanom nsiedo na enrada na empanifo wo mu ewo dabo ba Ghana mampani Era John Dramani Mahama nai so eno mo di asem wo esie ya we ho sem ya tete wo mframemu no wo mu bebo mampani amane na ensem ni pusu Ghana mampani Era John Dramani Mahama mane rekoye mampani e ka se ya na ye be hwese se be ye na ye kama esan se bra na wote ase no oyobi a wogina ho edima asundwe ye ka se obi a ye hene a woni ye nom asundwe bruwa no a na ya na ye obi a otesa entiga na mampani wa John Dramani Mahama enu adabra ye de amanebo ebebo no wono nsem a wode etudwa bi na no pekata no atwa ba mebo wo mu amane na medaso akata fa etoso dumiensa ne nche ha sei so soafo wono ehwe ye nwumesua ensem so ene wode etu yanim sana no ada na ye nua nkuma yi wo mo etro BEC na nyame ya adoma July 31st na result no aba monten so enti no result ne ba na ansa na ye ba be peki schools e de ama ye ma no eno nti no oba ne result ne be ba no wo owofo no wonimu se me ba no oyi 6 me ba no oyi 10 anasa oyi 12 enti sukuwa wo sha wo ma obane modern bo ekoye no sa suku no na abepeke ediama no enya afi na obane yi 40 wo kwakope eyi ya santo girls ediama obane esese wo suku a obane esese wo peke edima no ehun nsam no ewo krata yi mu enu achi kwan wasanso aboya mane se double track a ye Ghana mampani dada na na dada akufo-addo ono so ni policy a odebe bo education sector no na nkwala ni ye wo green ni ye wo gold na ebi kwa 3 months 2 months na afufro so kono wo mu policy na ewo ho sa na ni eda so ho no mampani eni asoye ehwe ye nwumesua fam se wo mu eba abehwe amasa policy ni nyina etimi afri ho na aboa ma education sector no etimi agina yi anopensam no ewo kratafa etoso du miensa entime so mebo wumu amaneye wadaru mameda so katafa etoso du miensa ahase ne nsam ne do so panti medini nyina so ebesomwo na owura kenahibe eno wode nsam wato monten so no si wo microco Ghana esese ne ka Ghana fo nyina ye twento mafita ene na asesom ene esese ye kɔ ne ebusa se wo bia be wotutu bia so na kade asem na asie enti a wo ka se ye twento mafita na kyese ye nyina ye fa sidama twedi ampo basa yi adom no si hwe enipa bofo ote oman mu so oman kwaso na ne yi na di wojema chema wuntimi ya kasa se galamse sensa azio esefudio ananu adayi a flood victims yi enkapumpuni mantemu so to ye ejidi ye ukopiem wo samra boye no western region na asfm e TV so ye be kan wo sem bebre ye be show videos bebre ento reka na shibe se we mu nyina ne ade nta wo ka se eye ne de ono eye ne de se chema wuntimi ene wo ko 20 years na wo si 20 years ni pusha was it 20 years ni so I think man 25 years because in times ahodo ya de bobo no na wo mse paneti unit bi o ha wo tuatua ni ade de na so ye hwemu fiko pa de a esesen ko 20 years a wono so de ho nsem no aba beto kata yi enimti anopai the Ghanaian Times so de nsem nam de nsem ode nam no na mabobo so e de acho na okay kata fa to so du ba kon so e boya mane fani kwanchefo a woda Bank of Ghana ano amrado na wode ensemi etudwa na wose Ghana nwumeku ahodo a etimi agina wo sika fam no baako any gold board na wose ne enti a woka se baako any gold board ene se time yeti gold board adwumeku no na wo mu Bank of Ghana na wo mu emma gold board sika mane di to gold edi fi ankrankra wo mu tu gold no papamu nya galamse for de ni bi womo mutu ni papa mu enti na Bank of Ghana emma ni sika na onu gold board no e de akwa akoto na kire se business na no mugusu a womo ye nenso ebe kakra ni sisi a gold board se womo agina brand enti Bank of Ghana so wo twe ne ho na gold board anka so wetimi agina brand na sisi wo sika no akata de beto na enkoye se Bank of Ghana ne be hye na se ana so be so ni mu no womo so mu de ho se mo aba betu ja sisi ano gold board e ka che yen se sisi womo agina mo na so womo aba be ya brand enti womo aka so betimi ato gold a pandit a wono eye Dr. Siaman so editu dwa se eno kire se Bank of Ghana womo be yi omani e de ama gold board nemum womo be hwe se womo de omani be di womo adwumedie nyina achi gold ahodo womo beto sika ho nsenkaye nyina no womo de omani e be di achi se ne womo ka se sisi ade womo hwe gold board etimi agina brand no womo nya womo sa kwa womo dwumedie ahodo mu no womo be di achi e de ama wom Katafe also do a nice so the Ghanaian Times animo and so CCR the World Health Organization and a one more ede amaniboyi esum Ghana for nyina titiri ni wiase na yes cancer yade de nipa toa na nanom siedo ekum kwada ekum panifuo ekum kokorawa chese ni abasisi ade enkwada nkuwa na wo munya cancer yade na World Health Organization ebo yamane se wuyi nipa edu egina hɔ a emu nan ewo cancer asefem say ye aduane a yedie say ye nso a ye nomo say ye mframa ye home ana se enema papa bi ne ye nya ntina ma cancer yade no eti asite ewo man mu no empanifo nhwe na wo muntimi entu ho anamo anopa nsam no ewo the Ghanaian Times animu a mede asom mu
Joseph Dindiok Penka Emmo Enkomo. Now, Honorable Joseph Dindiok Penka, a former Deputy State Attorney, Edema Omai, a former Deputy Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Wayan cameras median moment for what in Pani Abaton Pesia Sorabo, and about to make Karen watch it. Honorable, good morning and thanks for your time. Right, yeah, she said, yes, Rebecca, Honorable Joseph Dindiok Penka, where former Deputy Attorney General and Minister of Justice, former MP Tempani.
Okay.
Sorry, the number you dialed is currently not reachable.
So,
sorry, the number you dialed is
so ye demra ye adwuma de a ene na ye ni asemoka esan se ba akofo bedidie na obesen sase obesen so obesen fudie ema se bi ne pampempem ho akere wo mo de megidi se mra no eye adwuma na we beye nsa na ho de amagana fo nyina titu ne yempanifo amudi yanimu se ye didibre bi ma wa esese dibre no ho adwuma na wo ye enye se bi oba kopre wo nkwa wo de okopre wo nkwa wo de na nei wo kwa akotwa 20 years and opensem no wakata etoso dumiensa na metro etoso dumiensa so han say so Ghana mampani Yewura John Dramani Mahama ene kopie mu ewo ECOWAS wo mu enhyemude ase na mampani ekasa ene odi tudwa se hwe kamia yese bibiban kabo mu nkwetiti kakra ya abaye mu na nanu ada na si ye ewo South Africa for wo mu etomani ede esi Ghana for na afi Nigeria ene bibiman kro bi ahodro bi a wo mu ewo mu mamu se wo mu nsoli free ho na wo mu sesi wo mu man ne nyade etwa yie enu ti mampani ekasa ewo ECOWAS meeting ase no eno de nsem we nyina to ho se esese ye nhyehyeye na ye hu se bibiman kabo mu konu titi bi ba mu a obi ana ne ho so because ye nyina ye kabo mu ene yetimi eka ye ho bo mu se bibiman kabo mu ko ene bibiman kabo mu konu nsu no we ku de bo a we ku de bo a we enu ti ne aka ye ho bomu enti se koba se South Africa fo timi de wo hye ehye mo nsem ka se Ghana fo bi Nigeria fo bi ene enipeku ana se other countries nipa bi wo ho enu ti wo mo to mo so rese obi ankoni kroma na nya de a edi enije aba besu amanhodo so enu ti Nigeria fo ne Ghana fo ye ne ho kai pa mampani de o se yoyo ene Minister for Foreign Affairs ro ku je to abrakwa wo mo ka wo ho bomu ena Africa Ghana mpani fo nyina ekofa ye nuanem a wo mo South Africa edi be fi nipa be se 900 na mampani kofa wo mo ede ba ya anope wakasa no de atudwa se ne ekoso wo ho no empanifo nhwe na wo mo enkasem patesika bi kra wo ha esese yeje na ye de ma victims a wo mo eho ekaye katafe to so dumiensa na asem yi ewo na katafe to so edunson so ewo daily guide enim daily graphic enimu enso Ghana sika semu ho anase sika sisi aban no release ediama education sector se na midi kan boss so se ye wo green and ye wo gold eno double tracker Ghana man pani dada na nadan ko akufo-addo obeye ye education sector nim time obeye free education no sisi ade aban so release $331 million eno ni sika edi ekwa sector ni mu se na be ya ebi ko na 2 months ebi aba no ni sa ohawe wo mu nyina no ye betimi yi edi afri ho anopei nkrata no de aba enim hanti me so maboso de amaw na mefa daily guide kratafa etoso ensia chema wuntimi ho asem yo anope nkrata ne nyina de aba chema wuntimi ho senkaya ye jeli ni 20 years yi ewo enim ha se no chikwa yesu otua 300k ni nyina so ensem anope unya krata ne bia wo betimi akenka na enu a chema wuntimi time ne sentence ne ba monten so no ena NPP womu amanyukuo no omo ye nsɛmtwerɛfo nhyiamu na nipa ɔkasa ye ɛyɛ owura Justin Kodua Frempong wɔyɛ twerɛtwerɛfo pani de ma NPP amanyukuo no wɔkasa de nsɛm wato dwa no wɔsehwɛ kyɛma wuntimi a yɛakye na kwakoto mu nyɛ entansa hodo a yɛde bɔ no na mmom ɛyɛ nsɛm bi asɛ bi ɛkɔso amanyukuo mu anase nsɛm bi a esi ade agyentere ha ɛfa sɛneɛ aman bi anase amanyukuo bi te so a wɔn mutimi de access wɔn mu de tumi kyɛ ɛhyɛ wɔn nsɛm na afei ɔmo opponent no omu chicho mugumu bebrebe ne bi na omu de omu kase chema wuntimi ato no enu nti NPP amanyuko nkrata wo mu de ba monten so enu a we kase bomu ye de beto mo anim na no pensu esisu ade ama no pen krata ade abanti yesan so esisu ade ama se wo mu de omu su wo mu nja ne mu da wo mu bekɔ so ahwe se atentere ne ebekɔ ade ama chema wuntimi enu so ho nsɛm no ewo krata yi anim enti enu so ewo daily guide anopai me de asom wa Africa Chronicle so baye na ensem kro na chema wuntimi ensem yi na afi yero afenyo marking so akasa eda fa chema wuntimi ensem ho anopai me de me nkatsa no ebesi wa ha ede amamo.
Right, me na say na ne home right na ho ba na afi ede koma
Kwame wada Roma ye kwei na me wish birthday na afi ye sorry happy birthday enko emfa mawo ye frɛ wo ejesi. Happy birthday to you, Brapeni. Eradi Eshra na onye okesi. Wakoma so bisade na oni eradi di ho nkomo. Anamotu eradi edi wutu no. Yesese obema na ye nhira na emre esemu no. Wode wachire wiase nyina. Happy birthday to you. Edase. Kwame mewi wadaroma.
Right. I wish ya dane ho ba dane ho ba na fe ye de koma aka to so. Right, so abraso say ye din komo ahodo ewo fidemu ede emma wo ma me kwa homasomra na me ne lawyer akufo-addo emon komo oye constitutional lawyer and oye head at the maternity chambers. Kansa na peme mo ache.
Ye ne o.
Kansa ba chompo mboko de.
Ne ho ye na mozo e.
Yesu adom ye so ho ye pa. Aropa ye ni sobra wanyama ye say ye ni komo kakra. Enkomo no ne wona fanu be se no ne ye die ye fight down say ye wo maimu ye bi je to bi de ho ne ahwe ekwan a ewo se timi fa so na ye no na ekoyie. Eno abeto odwa se the Ashanti regional chairman the MPP amanyuko no we involve ewo gadamse etu emu enti court wa se onko dem mfirisia no adue no se wanya ruling no ene se de enkomote wo mu a ye bisa se how many count ene de board no ntia ene ye de sa sentence ya ma no
mini amecha oni watu for the people mo bi achi me kai judgment no the book says say galam say ene de board untumi kwa do de board ni na say wa kwaje concession every about hospital to go na you say to go do and no de concession na mo so enti man so dey move for so minister and mission as what me ask me about it na almost me anye na court ni si jina yese ayampa wa nyi mi every minister ho na wa sanne adansi court ni jina no me only accord na would be mal ebedi adansi ti we be fi Henry okum only ebedi adansi say what am nti possession would you say for the man so all reclaim asa na onua bi ni ade enti enye intansa de bo won't be no enye galapsi name no so what the concept ya move abra wanya approval na the person
right council say ekobana sa eyentumu ana penalty bi na ese utua na wo concession na ese etwam edifru so as a punishment utu sa na mo.
Well, in 2020 President akufo-addo changed that say uchuma omani echo muje no nyina ye omo echo mo asati na Nata woman you should be the kingpins. No more any of the Anakasadia. No more. And Namuka says, Sadia, why would the concession get book up to 25 years? So the baby will no be a papamu. It's already a course of the Bana of the concession. Unqua now contribute. The Anfamobi.
Right. It is a CIA, young from Mobia, no, at the Abontian say, Quadu Bakwe de Bono, no, and who judgment and the whole, where the Jamu dem Rano, Moking Cam Rano, Ehuno. On the court like this, and I say, Quadu be a Tisano, sentence no a not more than and not less than a hand.
We almost granted not more than 25 years. We don't feel a way excessive. Because the answer was put to a good deal, that's what they are moved. Without approval from the minister.
Right.
If you want to let them know one thing, the whole punishment need to be years ago. I am way excessive. I say, we near say, what you driver's license and not driver. What you be their driver. Now, we have to continue the punishment. Now, what could be a way out?
Council, Emrano, the often back home. So often run back one, the same person now often read to me. It be say, me man could permission now and free minister ho and son of a day mawa. Now so now start to say we Juma, one from Brano.
When you know much Brano, now wait here. No more to be under the dance expect them wound to me. It's only catchy deal, so over the advantage you what media. We ain't charging. So what I say? Aha, to you, my gallant say, I have no one. But no catchy deal, so over the advantage you would do. And you want to know. Or no more crap, or make a say.
Eh, and cancer Mrano, a two blow, I'm not sure be nice, be. Fancy me panelists for Haina, Manusha Sumra so. Maybe I'm the idea about Abama, me pana bako de awon yonko. Na se we film. Na me could dear dance your sampa. Nippers missing that idea no. Meanwhile, that the minute they buy my at the war, media Marama and coming, yes, sir.
Well, I don't know, I'm not really to say. Only acquire bonnet because also the dance amount you there watching. Not get more he no dear. What charging up we are the dance yet.
Right. Right.
Even though in our room crab, I could now nobody.
Very well. Cousin to any or quite pila. Wo bet me and fear to do be and I bet me at so man when I say, Emana can waka.
Media make and me who say like it, or quite kilometers.
Right.
We want a bonny away a little. Because you are more you are around the minister. It is a bonny away and there. We are that higher end of the skills. So over 20 years.
Right. Right. Council, my fancy, na maybe say to you personal. They won't me ye no. Nanka and what's a way ye, sa kind so. Now the den on our wa bamu, who minister the wa bamu. It's dear part of any passo, and I will pay you be, and no two and a more to you as a layman or your lawyer.
I'm saying you are asking the wrong thing. Me a lawyer.
Right.
Even jury duty say people like people. I can't think like a layman anymore because of the training. That's what I say.
Right.
So they will excuse me from being a jury. Somebody will be asking. And I cannot see them going wrong, but right. I'm going to hear permission and one any action.
Very well. But Council, my man say, it is a where the Agyapong Koreas on one or two and pass a day to one on one or two namana.
Well, look, one would miss one do a farmer, but the man so uncle see at that. Farmer. Being cancer, guardian, Henry, nobody else yet, and I think, what the man is all good. It is that I know here, minister permission. And you know, it is also been who are what concession. That's what I study.
Right.
Because the children wasn't really able to number.
In this one, Samuka agreement is an agreement. Agreement, I did anwaka agreement. Agreement, I did. Nkrata ahye agreement emu hwan na eka no kre etise nkrata wo so a nka yesusu se untimi ebefa no adi kakra se nkrata ye de ye sensan ne kire se curriculum asase na emfa nkotu galamse
emi de na wo kan the agreement wo kan cannot be the dance here
right. Council, what be a assembly so they are saying, my yes, you have to rule, I see ye that's an pay.
I
mean, lawyer Kwame-Addo for a constitutional lawyer, where your head at the maternity chambers, and I mean, no, a D and Komoka Craft chairman, won't to me and Kumui and Huo, me war lawyer Agyapong or a private legal practitioner, me was send of Bright Opoku Buama, and so a wolf, them high number BD and Komo. Yasha say film ramre de na me hwe ni mu se me sabeka ono nyamfo Joseph Dindiok Penka were former deputy attorney general and minister of justice former MP Edma Tempani abatom pesua so ye try say yensa betimi aka initially yensa eka na me se ba bi onam no network ni nya papa se yensa kana ye no bedi sa nkomo yi bi ene nto aso na fe yahwe article 142 no mu na ye hunu se de no so tribunal ensensem a ewo mu etima me sha say for free lawyer Agyapong so cancer kwaba
Major so many.
Boko there. Right. Sound of Unso Aquaba. Also Boko. Right.
Yeah.
Cancer mention some fruit so and per the can if we are not going through court in Yasha the hour, shall we can we are on your contempt and I'm a
contempt in the Timothy even after say court.
And as a combat to the baby because the Breamba car, can someone as in I
oh, and you're can't
okay.
So, oh, can't be contempt. No, you can be cited for contempt in fashikora and ex fashikora.
Okay,
which means a bit much of contempt our committee in the presence of the court.
Okay,
and outside the presence of the court. And it's a bit hey now can send be more putting the name of the court into disrepute. Oh, yeah, no, maybe I said 20 years here, they are much to me. Now, so court no cry, court of phone ban or no, court to sometimes say, no, hey, okay, can some and near more who some na some no, I some mamma was why I question. And you commit o ka asem egu court na nim ase di court na tem ebu court na nim ntia e wa abonten a contempt as fashikora.
Right.
Contempt in fashikora no yes say who in the presence of the court now yeah they be amounting to putting the court name and the court's powers into disrepute.
Right.
Oh yes anwa ene nyina
na no man fa asem foforo bi anto so yen dey say nim say contempt dey wa contempt wa court no dey dey bi e kai so wa contempt wa court yen dey say John dey example and someone dey work court wa ye die no no ko kan say asem ne bi asensinsin bi sinti yes say ache no contempt say wa contempt wa court no
contempt no anya say asem no court
right
na ye wa ko ka bi no there bi asem wo court ye ni ade be friend gag order say ye de tabo to ano so men kasa da bi democracy no request say obi abeti ma kire na adwere wa ade bi ekoso
right
de ekoso atwam de ebeba nyina wo ho kwan say utimi kire wa adwere ho na mom no o kano with civility say we ka fra odi nimde nyansa adwene obuo eto ho na waka o kana sa no asem bi ani
very well
na asem a called e court so no say wo ka asem no na asem no e prejudice prejudice the court na be kana prejudice when you say something and I work be kan asem a e kwakwa say asem no kra na court nyanka ba wo no waka ma court ndada say unim say obetimi aka de na ne nka me family wo fie we na wo asem wo betimi aka na wa me family wo fie wo wo kwaje court na no asem aka de na say wo no
right now yenye adwin say e be call na asem no mu too much but with the enlightenment lawyer Kwame Adofo de amaye eche say counter the ball no say e wo mramu say what the concession ogina say wa wuntimi ntu a kwaje approval from ebia minister ho ansa na the concession am obu fro eno na wanye enti ene okodem 20 years na say per se enye galamsey no wotu
yo mamincha I'm say the question about antimi anchia me na afia concern say quite me chia no pa nti na ja na metia ne kokofu e na tua school fees e na metia he enti mamincha no pa me da na senya me insha no ma me pa ne tia ne say galamsey ho asem a ye o my Ghana mu a ye kana medical culture say Ghana ye jokers ye ni empanyfo nyina ye jokers ye nye serious
in sense wo
the serious na ye nya ne se ye nye ya adwese ye ku galamsey na de ntia chama wuntumi ya ma no 20 years nye galamsey o de se na me senior no e kana kwa me adofo e kana de ntia ye ma chama wuntumi 20 years ni nyina ne se wakodi tumi wa aban wo se wo de aban asase e ba be ebe tu afo magudie e ma aban ma no tumi se o Kwame chairman untumi kwa kona koye odwuma na fa gold ne bra na nyina ma na yenkoye nim
right
oji ye na ono no ma aban na di tumi na ma ne se o fa ko e no no so di tumi na komo obi se ontu abra wa mebo mpanfo amane
so it means say nsem bi ono onyamfo Kennedy ohene Agyapong keka ye ebie no chesa manfo koje contract kotonton ye no we betimi aka ho
enye ne sa pese
okay
so we ni nye contract aban de amano we ni ye concession
okay
we ni different from the honorable Kennedy Agyapong o ka ho asem
okay
the honorable can Agyapong kan ho asem ye say wakọ na aban akọji adwuma wa aban ho akọji aban adwuma we concession nya aban adwuma ono no so person ye adwuma to me na okọji keke to me obetime nya no nya nyina so a obetime ye adwuma no na okọji ye na we ne the honorable kan say wakọji adwuma ya ma e bia adwuma say si toilet ma o man Ghana wakọji ye tua ho sika ma ana say the contract name ma ye pe obi obetime ye adwuma no waye ne yi na wo na ye panyini ye de ade na hye wonsa okwa anu akọji ade no obi ho no akọton na wono agye ne percentage wagye kickback na ode ade na ma nipa na kwa anu akọye na prekesen tantan sika wagye ne kickback wagye ntino ya ere fun kura onka ho asem ade be chen na tutu ese ukọ so tuom town rules ana say inner rules na o ma ye ne ade no ye kura ni 6 months ko hwe ntati akora fa so ebebu ogum enti saa suba we mu na ono aboka na Agyapong kan na we ne de concession no akọje emra ye the Minerals and Mining Act na 703 ne say 703 say ukọje concession na concession na wo ye hu adwuma na bibi nti upese odi ma obi a e wo so ba bebo minister ma ne say minister mo na mo ye mpanfo mo na mo de ade ya asase ma me say menye asumasi adwuma we ye mpe gold wo na mo me bia bibi say ntino be say me de ma kwa me mansa company no no so beto aso na obeboa me na ye we wa anye sa no mpanfo say ye chiwgedua atiamra sa de no achema wontumi anye ntino woko 20 years
ma memra party no ba bi hobisa say send of eye ahomaso sika ana de ne ba yi nti a wa minister wa mu wa ban mu akọje concession de amount wo da no concession na mo bi asusu say you have the power no ana say ne tesen to you nti a want me anye sad sika yeso otua ana no sika tua wo mu cancer
sika tua kakra bi betimi abam for administrative purposes na nye sika yesa bi sika twitwide bi a we
very well. Shout out mami ntie won free daranka.
Kwame me da say mami ntia weti for no ahwefo ni na. I think say as if mami answer question in feed this point na about.
Right.
I think say NDC aban clearly no almost start ba be mo na say almost start your ma amemo no. Utimi ho say nipa ba kwa na ye DC ni so pan echema wontumi.
Okay.
Not even on galamsey issues in Kwa. Yebeka ya some George minister when they were trying to a friend is saying cut some media stations at Yemomo and
that's
transmitted.
Right. That's right.
Won't to me media was part.
That's right.
Until no clearly no there's a clear agenda say chama won't media and now say baby and in same kayebi tamane or like abemu kakrentino at all cost my and coming after him.
Right.
And yes, he's a party person. Or that Dom Kesenima, the biggest I can say regional world, the largest constituency no. On a year now like the chairman of that you know then we are going to have people come and talk about it in your I think it needs to be like established Minyang abide with the seriousness in fighting galamsey.
Okay,
that is not to say say chairman to me is fighting galamsey but o share kwanya ye dey in some fashion na e can me say o galamsey unti nye fa kwan bi so na ye fa ntansa be bone ni ade obekaya some few months ago, and I hear John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency Kache say, Onim, send a party phobia. From a good year to send one year census,
Right.
And he told us, like in the full glare of the public. What to say, Bibiana? Are we saying say Ghana for we are okay in the president admitting say on one party for to galamsey another? So in our seriousness in fighting galamsey, say if that is all that the president has got to do for us, and not a ban galamsey and say my say young kunti as a we are going nowhere or we've gone nowhere and send an embassy koya sana air cost of the end we have gone back as a country and draw me video be an security MP4 Afano Southeast Mohammed Yakubu on in the DC or Mako nananum baako na himfia amanfo ni nananum agasa ebo mu tutu epamo mu fi.
I think say one TikToker be eka ma Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer cry the no be news Ralph and so call that side to be Mickey claim say TikTok na asem na waka say sa Afano South West no DC no na MP no involved in galamsey.
So this one the video was the MP himself and the DC all at the Chief's Palace. Meaning what they were going to do there but ultimately say clearly no ohima na otimune amount for mobile info na bo ntuto pam omo se omo sase
right
yenti ha na Yewura Joseph Yamin national organizer of the NDC your flag is said they are part of Galamsey Ninsense bi omokoso
right
debe na yati afa ho biom omo national vice chairman Yakubu what have we I can't say Abanga what has been the outcome of that claim say your baby yen hishimuni ade in the sense all your buying and say all your government are o person Ghana fo jintum say na so Galamsey a ekoso ni ade so person so bia ade na impenifo say your border ma ye go fifi ade ntina wo hwe say me ankasa mi party ma omo ye involved in Galamsey no me babe tu on so sa ama Ghana fo nya o mu didi ni like mu say ampa mampeni ne commitment towards fighting Galamsey no he's ready to fight it but say prefer obi a say bia no like bia like onye wo party ni na some more tata ni say ebema obi ajan say that be this is what we call the selective justice
right
me nya lawyer there but lawyer me and me nya judgment in some kind of details there I've seen snippets of it on social media people are trying to draw you know right. But I think say adebakwa me echimagine kakra ni say na ye cheche nsem ni mo no was it established by the court say ampa Yewura Chairman to me there was an agreement either somebody testifying verbally say no ojina hobi and now there's a written agreement say or the ni land ni ma abrante ni say onto Galamsey na was that thing established by the court
I say according to lawyer Kwame Addo for say unto media or can say or the man say we reclaim as one farm man say
lawyer bed nimbe ya dwen say you say evidence is the name of the game say by law say my nyama dwen che in this say if you intimi establish by any written form because ende wutie Kwame ubetima ma me wasa de say bia membe ji assassin through list and fan kodi dwuma bi e bia na meji say bia meka kosi e bia meka koye fu wo so but say ye beba na say me two Galamsey for me gudi ogumu a eno nche say wo na wa ma me kwan say me metu saade no
right
that is where I am a bit about to say if we could not establish say na so Chairman to media assassin ma la konyu akoni say onto efom gudie we obi na kan che me say I can say bia wo na wo de makokot
so now here comes the case nipa na enka so odi adanse ma wontumi no because of say a chiri wontumi e ba chi ne bintu no I said ono no be di adanse ma aban I say am pass word na asase ne ma no
into wo na wo kan and na me say man fa ma wo sa so where was the proof again was there any written proof or maybe a third party be no so njan chen e ka so e bia ya ntro but there can me so na me gina wo bia metie if such things were not able to know be reviewed established in the court me na kakra kwan ya falso I know we have what they call the circumstantial evidence but the primary thing needs to be established say it not established sir e ban is saying and I yetimi join into that conclusion na e be as a lawyer wahala ko be bo ameka ka na me ade a chema adwemu na kakra because in the written judgment of the court now me hu kakra na enye the original copy no that was not established. I think it's on page 23 of the report that was not established judge nankasa dia tumusa and say bibi sa wo hono ma na eyebochimu kasem ko do tine bi no se mi so me beji wasase na se bia me pe obodie dia bit ma akokọ ye bibi a enye okapo na ye de o ma me nkwan se me nkoye but se ye frame your court bit ma ka se o enam se ye wasase nkwan de wa na ma me nkwan se me nkotu sa
ma lawyer mramu na ye nte sa de no as a counsel say e was say bibi a no menim say dem ka no mo terms mu de but I was establish that fact me say am pass say omo akọ agreement bi etisa ana omo akọ agreement bi etisa to say de sound of work
yeah, mramuno de say obi ekasem na okato so say wo say onye bibi na wo deny averment na nipa na akanwa na wa make no the burden of proof no still shifts on the person to lead further and better particulars and as a further evidence to substantiate the said claim. In the absence of that claim, no, you breach the principle on burden of proof.
But me yanti wana say, for some can be actual. Ebi obu from Bermuno. Na waka so me na me can say na me say there be me can sa. Why na ye lady prove no? Eh me ana wo na wo lady prove.
Nti say Chairman want to make case. Chairman want to me say or the assassin no amana de.
Right.
Nemum or the man say on reclaim on your friend reclamation on reclaiming assassin but be almost too good no free no omon causes are ryan and san confirm feeling to no any friend reclamation on quiet hardy no on and on adwuma no the man say on kon na akwa no so dabi one farm mam say me kon wo the mam say me fan go 2 galamsey and ono no so the man so on fan go 2 galamsey assertion I want make against Chema Wuntumi. Chema Wuntumi so rebut the said assertion in law. And I may just say who make a statement accusing somebody. Now the panel rebutia. Bed no has been shifted. One year to Ojituma now be conclusive evidence. 1 year to more. Then the burden then shift on the person making the allegation to lead further evidence to prove that. In the absence of that production of that further evidence, no, you have not satisfied the burden of proof, and you have not also satisfied the standard of proof. And in criminal prosecutions, the standard of proof, no, is proved beyond reasonable doubt. It is one to me, first have better evidence now. He has not lived to the standard, and for that matter, the allegation is not yet proved. And yes, I deal with in society. We may come and run a minya judgment, no, minya SFs, no. Benyan kind full judgment anyway. It's a sad tier ewo adenemundia. Then there's a way for Chema Wuntumi to go on appeal. Appeal no betting appeal no on 2 fronts. Sentence now court to the man in my personal view, no, with due respect to the learned judge, you know, too excessive. Dear Bonena, Chema Wuntumi, I won't say about no man ankasa no maybe personally no man we will see and can kind of or them some papa now I work in Agyapong fast so names or more behavior now. I don't know you be go to a tier one but me dey me no we no na make can what's wo hwe ade a esi Chema Wuntumi I say or the concession am be without ministerial approval. That thing alone no as it were no. And until the man 20 years.
Lawyer says about 30 or something years.
Yes. So law no I prescribe the punitive way no the range no. I think at least man the minimum. In my respectful opinion, no the minimum just to serve as deterrent. Nanka man the serious sentence man the minimum nanka but to 20 no to the best of my understanding no ne looking at the offense in any way, no. Say or per se deterrent. Send the bear other big people no any involved, but 20 straight no to me no a little excessive.
And you bet me, Yamano 20 years in every year no. Assassin ya J and now still in the document in BBHS assassin and the other that saw no and now say assassin who near some. In terms of the ownership, no, was not in question. So, also because when you galamsey, one had the say, the assassin myself, we and now the year before fraud, and then you timid, I don't know some cry cancel concession. No, idea man. Now, we know the quite where the board say, or no moment they are more be without approval. This approval, no kwana, somewhere a dinosaur, and on a way. And think, or quite appeal, no, or wait me a call both on the sentence. And on conviction, and now say obey me only on the sentence. Now I go catch a court and say, Abba, that my yard you yes, me community uncle bona money, and minister uncle bo minister money. Now my uncle bo minister money and 20 years and when former when I'm on Tibiso. Now court of appeal no more than on what count we a lawyer counsel. And for a lawyer for a man no how do they determine this case by intia? Sad ye can na mamu, but they are still yama ruling. And particularly in the address stage, no. Before say judge never ma ne sentence, no. Obe catch both counsels on both sides and say both the prosecution and the defense say obi an addresses simra. Addresses no una okwa say okotro. Na what say judge ne say say ni sentina me client here Chema Wuntumi was say ija na man ko ne fie. Attorney General also ne opposition for so mo ko che no so de omba enso say ni na say o mani pa no ujeli na na say o punish no nti addresses ni mu na o be point sa normal way nyina me fully sure say the landed council no for Chema Wuntumi no e be point sa loopholes we nyina but is subject to the discretion of the court. Very well. Say judge no we ya adwen a no be fa na sa o no wa anya adwen so a no wa kan do be. Fa so mo ko appeal a shall remember who but they establish a fact to be from the law. Appeal no is the same the Attorney General and those ever never san be gina mu asem no mu adi against the lawyers are wontumi wo no.
Sir, ye ko appeal da. Ye court no kwan de besesa no.
Okay.
Attorney General no gina ma aban no no na ebo ko adu say chema wontumi aye bone sei. Ena chema wontumi so ne lawyer for nso gina wo say yenso yenye saa bone na mo se yaye no. Enti o me ndi o mo your constant parties.
Right.
But nipa obetimi asesa na obesa na ye court no a ye call no. We na ye high court. Ti ye ko appeal na we court of appeal.
Right.
Na akobo nkuru a kire court of appeal. No wa kire no ma eye mistake ewo baakunim ye fe ye nko cancer no foforo ye nko fa dance bi aba only say ye wo kwan ya obetimi afa so be say wo dance foforo bi apese otimi ba admission of fresh evidence on appeal obetimi ISA wo certify conditions na obetimi ISA na mom ye nko cancer no foforo ye kan na obehwe mu abobom ntokuro na ohun de enti a judge na asem na o kan na ye say nko kan sa waye mfomso ana waye mistake na wagina so de akwa
asem no ya what witness asem bi akọ appeals court ama appeal court cracher say court no de na odi kan de ma oye high court de no kresa enti atum bi a 40 years ebc ana
esi da bia mame ma baako ye ko eno kra de na ye court of appeal na de ko ye say na guy no accused convict no akwa ye armed robbery.
Okay.
Na odi we robbery only nipa by 5 and ye more 15 year minimum sentence in robbery we no ye 15 years. Na judge na ye mistake and o ma ba ko 10 years. O mo maka nyina sentence kese ba ko de o ma 10 years. The o ma 10 years. Ye o ma 10 years ne say na etuo na ekura no a odi ko hunu na maame no a odi gi ni sika na enye tuo papa na ye toy.
Okay.
Odi nkola tu na omidi agro ni na odi si maame no ko maame no so dim say tu banku ede o mpeso obewu e do odi ni no manyina ma papa na papa pu na ye kochi no ba court na asem so atu na modi gina so asem me ko am robbery no etu no nya etu papa o ye nkola to ebronya tu eti nkawe nka 10 de doso odi asem na ba na lawyer na dey application the processes ni na ba na mo wi ye do court to them na omo ma lawyer no so am say lawyer wo hwe law no a ugina so ade appeal ba na o say no say judges say on kind no mo ntwe wo hwe minimum sentence for robbery near 15 years lawyer judge na a mistake wa ma wo client no kura 10 years nke no wan say come on tumo na ade na mistake no ma ye san ko pe omo de omo teto won ba be so nti koda na ye 10 years watwa 8 no aba nti kona ye we odi mi call the application call say ono de eye toy nti no nya say ye ma na we ade no so no ye ka so bi a committee robbery a enye tua na asekan a odi call kro no bono say what the force act no o use force na ma jiti obi sa na wa use force bi abo obi so traje na ade na ma na ye robbery no. So what I say? So you use force in the process of stealing and a man here robbery.
Right.
Obo bi sutro uchim nsa na ogia wo use force bi agia de fro bi nsemu a ye kro no a ye robbery. And you know onu nim say ye toy nti na say ye man lesser one. Ye to court wa judges na kan de no say e mistake kura na judge ba ko ye. Nke so o 15 the plus. 1 month sa no 1 month 10 no kura de ye so ye hu mistake ne dia. Court of records e was ye correct mistake no. 10 no kwa no beje 5 na aka na oteto beje so akwa ene ne yire ne magina on be pente so on ba no be nyanto so na akwa isu ni ade bebre enti esi bebre
sara ba memra so na ye hwe if you na for your court tribunal no emu this serve as example edema successive parties am farm government ebaban mu in terms of say mo the due process e say mutimi ye ewo waban na oho we ni oho we nti say we ye dey say we ye
I'm a bit challenged as to understanding your question.
The question is for me as deterrent ma wo mo a on be ba bom be form government on be think say ya ban na wo so nti ase bibi oho a omo mfa nye omo bu mani guso ana say omo mfa nye omo bra na
I think say in general no when people are occupying public offices and I say bia senkofo di djume bia esu say in the interest of mine no na nya they are generally the notion out there is that and so who say that you would be called to account for whatever thing that you are doing. But if we are to relate it in this context, because I already have a bit of a challenge with the ruling, I cannot say with that direct say severe deterrent, but maybe in general there for abedi juma wa abemu na say bia like omoji medie no mudi we are one should expect say then at some point you'll be called to come and give clarity any other. But I think that the amana a bit problematic who's for kasa wa bonti na ni se wo hwe aban yi ba so yi kwan ya wa fa so a o man kofo ba na no nwa miracle sa se ba yi nipa kona kasa amoni no ewo issue no has been coming to your place upon invitation bi amode amani bi onangasa ba in fact up to some time bi kwapo de onangasa ni lawyers kwapo ba say oh mo be say hia mi ana eno mo ka chen say o da bi say ye hia wa ye be fro onwane ye ntint ye bi say wa den wa corner man on near or returning back to Ghana. Somebody who has been a friend is saying coming to you voluntarily based on wangasa invitation with the man no a ban is saying na pekope and I say Queensney o ma ye continue airport na ye de buy you na ye detain no and now we are looking at the 48 hours rule near there because all this one nipa kono enche we be say o janye from especially when the person has just even a friend announced his bid say obabe contest as opposition party or director of communications sabi any fan like onko campaign wo enyo memu ha ya inti sa atena e kwachen no previous man I say be a month ago say onwane say mo feni bi oba onangaza put me bisa mo say wo memra na bibi wono mo a na say we na o ya de na be ma wo kwan say o say yetimi kwache o mo sa nyoma bi say koso na be ma Ghana for kwaba o feel say bi a wo di djuma mo meka say we dey say mo kamia say mo be say mo mfa mo tumi a sabi constitution in Ghana for ye dia mamo no enfantiti ankofo found this because this sanyama no cost na say yan fa due process in any case miracles asemi nkofo menu na ye dey a friend saying like omo based on the statement by like Yoko no almost to say like omo di sika bi ho nsem ni ade te ban say na nipa baako out of nkofo menu na mo to say like omo di bon no which even factually no there is no connection between that said a cancer person and the miracle Gerard no on the miracles issue no they are separate issues apart but giving person ya mokan no krempo e ba say na wodi 50 million etu nipa ba akoso abaye nipa menu na mo say de la komo bonsim inti sa nyewa say because so e na be ma nkofo tie chi Ghana for ne be former eticha judgment say I say pani per se that call for yenjeli nkofo and you guys are trying to satisfy that in a year of your base inti na nansi so washa you are a haruna like idusu or that between like a mountain say omushen ye NDC former said yamo mutumi or that state issues in bisano omushen ye say ampa if you guys have done you can say you're like investigation that's an investigation a point out to Ibia that one is fine but abra won't investigation because you go for nanga say statement like on better about does not even say that is the final they are still investigating it is how rational in so manship no eba be den yenya munta kamro baka kabina say Alex Segbefia also ni video be like I've seen he was also trying to caution them say they should be careful in that can't say he say 1% be I satisfy and party money base me just say like I'm passing like before you be an assisi san your money baso there then we might not be doing what we are saying but say so investigate can't say he should go for saying so ampa evidence ni point here say be like made boni be tell mine now why not and you see you can say me the entire I am using that as an example is because we have had some practice over the period ye mami tiwa beda no be we've had other persons that omaba beda and in fact saglami issue whereby under your watch that was when the investigation started ye said nantama ku issue whereby ye other people are yoko boss am so babe that the same institution no kwan yo fa so edi nsem no sebe obi no wa okọ like you kwakachi okoda ho more than 48 hours that obi e invite ye ni bia that day now he left the promises after you satisfy that this like a interrogation and maybe it's the ban ade na ye pese ye ma obi nda cells 48 hours na ye interesting because in pimpin so be sure enyo obi ye dey asam so na che say that person is guilty of it. In the answer, maybe a court be din asem we na ye bon say be nipa ko ne endi for no. Maybe I said be din say akoso ewie. Mpeni so say friends like a dimpa we like I said like a wunya. Into obi dey number of years abria pe dimpa be just mere allegations are and no it can go either ways no what's in the way not then I'll be
very well
yeah best say or say yeah make it say everybody who are served in any capacity in public office no that person needs to be like accountable by kwanya ya faso ye nyoma no mention ye
but I say council ma ye dey on basis of your article 142 no emu no e be say all court are bound to make a mistake in tibia fan say the omoye a mistake fa court na nim twetwe form e wo da kwan no say the ye ka say BBC e wo say timi ba court no judge na admit say BBC ya e prove we na ma fa court no e din ma form
Debbie, a part of the process.
Right.
Courts are likely to make a mistake, not bound.
Okay.
But Ekobas say judge no be a mistake. Anything I name say mistake ni betimi abantina ye appeal structure no.
Very well.
The existence of the appeal structures na here the expectation say mistake be betimi abba baby ama say be ba say mpanfo we nim no so betimi ahwem na ya hwɛ say mistake woman ya correct no.
Right.
Nti we here say mistake ba e district betimi dey aba high court. Mistake if you say mistake about betimi dey akọ court of appeal. If you say mistake about betimi dey akọ Supreme Court. Even Supreme Court my judgment. Now if you say mistake uma betimi under dey akọ for review.
Right.
Under the review jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Now who kwan say otimi sign panel panel no bi judges bi na osan hwe mu bi. Eno ye writer obi antimi engine free.
Yamra article 142 no esoba before that and I just want to establish we say the Attorney General aban no dia on the akufo-addo aban Minister of Justice aban ne yi no it is ankrofo emi no or the Attorney General the son the only the answer akufo-addo so yamfa the Minister of Justice no ento any judge for na ya pa na wo mo ko we ni ho no answer say ruling bi abeba no the Attorney General or the Minister of Justice no ewo enim ansa na ya beka na
there be say anything na refer the independence of the judiciary.
Okay.
The judiciary is sacrosanctly independent, wholly independent from anybody or person. That's what the Constitution says. Until the judiciary is not subject to anybody's control. That is the expected position. Right. So judge be and judiciary no judgment be and almost take any judicial process be they are not supposed to inform anybody, including the Attorney General.
What about
the
Minister
of Justice? The Chief Justice, no one is higher Attorney General.
Okay.
He holds both offices in one person. He's both the Attorney General and Minister of Justice for the state.
Right.
Until or your minor lawyer, and your friend Attorney General, your my Ghana, Ghana, you know, a lawyer. Until your Japadi and no may could be a month for on the behavior so be cheesy na Oma as I could just na the Abre Ghana for. Until your idea, Emrano, Emana, Quincy, or say Jumano.
I conflict me kakra. The same person now akufo-addo dey am aban no. The same akufo-addo no wan so kro na no san hwe attenteness yes sir.
Ono na san hwe attenteness.
It means say you bet asesa na.
You bet asesa na nti share the constitutional amendment committee a form na bi no mo ka say some suggestions were to the effect say a separate offices. As a conjoint twins. Ye the name you know abom na ye dey say timi a separate na etimi eboa.
Very well. Yamra article 142 talking about the establishment of the and the composition of the regional tribunal court no you say you were regional you were district you were national nti mu de na NDC person but mu de na court no or say law we prescribe say family
we tribunal bill we no is seeking to introduce the district tribunals.
Okay.
Regional tribunals na the article 142 no constitution na kasa create data.
Okay.
The constitution na create only say yem fa nya adwuma. But obi eni ho ye past presidents abanyina na obi eni ho regional tribunals no adwuma. Ho a ye constitutional we
right.
But obi eni ho adwuma. And this bill now is seeking to reignite both the regional tribunal and the creation of district tribunals obetimi de ababa ye adwuma na o de adi nsem.
Okay.
Na enum na me ye mu bi wo challenge wo sa bill we ho. Na me sure say other persons and our bodies and our institutions, be to say the minority in parliament, as almost share bill ni.
Okay.
Na share court to the Supreme Court for a possible interpretation.
Right.
But my dream no a careful look at the provisions of the tribunal bill. No, I respectfully believe say, and I think say a unconstitutional.
Right.
The entire make us say, share bill no. The bill no seeks to create a parallel legal system.
Okay.
Which is highly unconstitutional. Yeah, constitutional under Article 125 and other provisions no establish say justice emanates from the people and the people are the sole source of that.
That's right. And then even the Article 19, Eka said there must be a fair trial. It is a ye panel that tribunal we are. It's a tribunal and they can do as we are dear. And it's fair trial now Article 19 cannot away.
Oh, fair trial there establish here the TBA na bit me aba. Just members na person of the baba. Fair trial means you must have access to basic legal requirements. It is a legal representation, the right to free speech, the right to be represented, the right to speak, the right to present your evidence, the right to have a fair legal procedure and proceedings are bit me aba lead to a very lawful conclusion in the allegations at level at here. And he said, "Sa no man about the no fair trial do, and no assembly any and no." Right. Name no. The Emma me who say law no a little questionable. And they say the creation of the your friend the oversight committee.
Okay.
Law no create a be friend oversight committee. The coming into force of that law no will create that oversight committee. So our oversight committee is being made to have some powers synonymous to the one that is created by the constitution, establishing what we call the judicial council. The judicial council is a councillor, and don't they share the court system, any legal one so both the structure and the composition and the administration of justice is championed by the judicial council.
Right. In terms from judicial services for no. I come on we juma sector now work can from judicial service.
Service ni na no betimi afren sa. Right. It is our judicial council we no. And no na a supervisor both the administration and the judicial system and the hweso. Sa build we are omode ban say be law a create the oversight committee and no is seeking to work hand in hand with the judicial council.
Okay.
So we are sa no a unconstitutional because you cannot make an act of parliament, an ordinary act of parliament, I mean, which will make amendments to the constitutional provision. An ordinary act of parliament cannot amend the constitution. You need a constitutional amendment act to amend the constitution, and not an ordinary act. Until you say, oh yeah, sir, who pass a law. Now law no seeks to do something different or say something different from what the constitution says. The constitution,
the should not surpass the constitution.
It should not surpass the constitution is the supreme law. Until any other law which acts in any difference to any provision of the constitution, to the extent of that difference, is unconstitutional.
Very well. My member, sort of so you didn't come on where we know. Still, the Article 142 na can so kind this person or former sub tribunal. Even so say or person obey na or the better tie and for what kind of cases in the Osanka tribunal no timi edi yen mundi and ancestor na ya manyo semtina.
Yeah, I think say a year as a famous baby on my year drew name Pempenso a year Pimco, name near NDC4 buying led by Yera John Dramani Mahama.
Okay,
it begs a lot of questions. In Penny say life is lived forward but understood backwards. If you baby na yababe drew as baby na you free bano, near my bana ya anamon tumuno. Yesusu say it be a boy, a moa. Any crime ben a person, then you boko any me free home.
Right.
So our tribunal sense me lawyer Nimbe Yajun say PND Sierra it was there, but it was abolished. Ye trim. There been my chase and money.
Right.
If we begin to ask ourselves some of these questions, and then it would be able to help us get answers. Now, so justifications are a day man. is this new bill I ever say is it trying to solve those nyamanana? Matiti in simple say na in court system crap no justice is delayed into no tribunals we bit my baba fast track. In any case, a lawyer for omudi dwumasan na lawyer can to that class be opa bi ala your client asem kwa like go to me court to me ko tie na hu ne they work with the courts. Lawyer bit much nyoma yen justice system ni justice delivery ehia. But none of them will tell you that and now the gaps this a friend is a tribunal court the solution to it. In fact, some people have talked about the technological gaps say ne kwame say me do court say lawyer na age ni mama wa okasa ba ko 30 seconds or so pause ma ye type and he say lawyer betima James Semeboa
o kasa bia NJ so to was o kasa kakra na ya type no wa check ya said the type no kra na ye de o kan no type ana wona ene yan kra ha kra no no na o kwa sound kodom ne mi krom se hwe hold ba bi ne ade ade judge no kra ne o kra pen wo twra
o Facebook mpo asa wo kan bibi na ade ne brofo na be na face AI atwa to ho e ama wo kan
Inti kwa mehwe say enen na ye kan say ye be say attention ni atten aye e contem ay ni ade. Some of these gaps no are we saying say tribunal court na e be bo am fast track
obezuka say your fast track high court to then so why no so pa ukoya na ye do so ade na
make no ba bisi ho no inti no lawyer for omudi court or like a chintue e be chill man some of these things na enyoma ye judicial they need
right.
Say in now kind of Gemini phone ultimately make command me TV and use your but them me write them on my commander. It's once it is connected to the internet like it will be and it starts showing me walk up in meet me bo mami a BBC there like it will just change the channel to the technology according said nyoma ebema yen attention in your man abwan these are some of the things that you're saying near it to me no me
so what you be no every day what can cancel
as I so can be oh na the at the end the tiene say the menu can no kwasebo the antidote to SAR delays anyway is not the introduction of a district or regional tribunals. Right. It is not. Oh, where delays are costing the computers in Niho. Who are pen, crab, pen, ni judge, ni pen. Who have book Niho. If you have car, be no more bimukra Niho. In fact, if you are cry over quarter, interpreter, nominate the just say, bimukra available, just say, or the Oko court back on we and Sanaya or no Saba, Sanama we now. Oh, now one kwala mienu ultimate to school fees afa na akopa ata ma me awa na be wonta for saka. And ade we mu nyina ye normal entwa yie. Ye pese ye as much as say ye pese ye di nsema no contem omo wiwie sika say politicians ye o ma say sika no ye twomne ade masa say ye per court system specialized court ye be sa omo nyina la de o ma be di o na asem no ye di ten tribunal bill we no introduce 42 days trial. Okay, 42 days near the asem na wi eno mo no de me no omo ye adwen a ye say etimi hwe kwan bi betima fa so di nkrofo bi mu nsem a ye be hu say omo wiwie sika no mama amanfo nya ba bi te say hospital bi mu da form na sika no gu ne fie gu mpase sa de ne enye kura na mom no ekwan say e fa so ne say court we na ho na say attorney general no e ka kire the chief justice his lordship Baf Boni me am senior me krom ni o na o create court o yi court ni bi na o ye ne specialized court na ye shida the normal facilities ni ade ekoho na ye di sika shem judges no ye hwe bo mo ye normal na mo timi ya adwuma no ye tentem na judges ni bi kra ha omo health allowance fees omo de judge dey call hospital cross call the hospital kra ye ntwa
the chief justice have been in the court why lawyer asana e bia ye pagya na direm it is animal we nyina no asa ba bia wadu onim say this is the how our court system
kwame yes we be sasa seminars na me ba no so na me to aso
yeah that's right
some of these things na so we be lawyer because we say nkofo omo defend the introduction of this bill NC for nkwan and say be enye obi o lawyer nyanya bia so na ye either NDC or MPP so we have neutral people some nkofo nyina are saying say that yen wodi on ansana na said you say the bill be say ya it borders on or say like a file like a man baby around ba no ya bit man ni my adwin say or say nanka am bia no ye din chechi movie about the general public say Ghana for this is what we are seeking to bring on board say ni na edu now the sentiment of the country in so I express okay bia president with the year first one bia with the first so la din be ya adwin the can say the Fiajo's reports
Fiajo committee.
The Fiajo committee's reports on this particular tribunals was clear. Say, Ocean Yoma now costly idea. It was one that we had to do away with. Now we are done the money bars. Professor Prempemu committee on the Constitutional Review Committee has stipulated clearly say it's our tribunals near idea or something the yetini if you constituent I can't say constitution outright. Right. Into ebani say na ya make sa or transit we na say be ya state sa facts we na so say be aban we still na pese on ton go so nye obi a ye de Ghana sika onim sika ye de mo koye sa report Ghana taxpayers money over their war people na like that's right like the mom if we do not trust in their verdicts and their judgment why did we give them that assignment like in the first place na say yet me the reports now bring all of these committee reports are headed by from ye feel say like omudi brand say like omuni mbe no e wo so ye enya omo penom ko she komu ye they went to various places consultations upon consultations were done. If the outcome no HSM my call on this tangent, why do we still have to prove it? Now only only the kakra let me be tribunal see sometimes can be saying the three panel and profile ye do mote the various courts and like me something cannot it might not even be in process and for 2 out of the 3 are legal people you bet me do be you feel say oh or no court na so be at
so can law na amount nipa or say constitution like I'm talking about the constitution of the board no say after say chief justice I chairman no obi I appointing as a chief justice and so bet me
in fact in this case no in fact like in this case it gives the president that prerogative to appoint who become the chairman of it
really
now say my president won point so no about me go to even appoint a district a year say ye 2023 lawyer so be kaya ye president then and no your position leader e ka chair ni lawyers voter region say they should get ready because he can say he's going to balance the bench. Now the president it's mark
I mean can for na amount the regional tribunals no Article 142 Clause 4 says animal can cancel.
Yes,
or say a person shall not be appointed to be a chairman of the regional tribunal unless he is qualified to be appointed as a justice of the High Court. A panel, that is 5, a panel member of a regional tribunal shall be a person of high moral character and proven integrity. And we are there.
I mean, bisa me one na determine high moral FN say you are.
Send the bia and share with that. Yeah.
And say yen character yen nyoma yen one na determine the highest moral character between the two. Okay. And that thing is a subjective. No make us say yen nyoma mpeni na okache and then in opposition say okache the lawyers say they should get ready to be part of the bench. Into ne me am here has a politically exposed person sound of say me the mass mark bia man kan so a who feel say pano na la commotion and would training na ye NDC for do you think I'll be given the fair trial? Right. Some nyoma we na akoso den in kofo bebre I know say na me kan yera pem kan also pen in but try put ono so in the kan so bia sabe ne man nim nkoso all of these people have spoken like against it say enya dey like a boy in justice system no that is not the case when say na you courts and what the various part of the regions are we don't even have judges there oko voter region in some northern region parts you need judges with those courts so if we are talking about a friend is saying justice system why don't we appoint more competent judges to those various district courts near there? Right. Why do we have to create a different now kind of article also then like a even so that kind of article 4
yes there 142 clause 4 and 5
and no yeah I can say regional tribunals right it has it is different.
Really?
It is different, and our constitution does not make provisions for that. You see, there will be beyond point, and so you be like a fatai. We can say so. Our constitution say you beat my tribunals near that, but so wo say on my ye gina bre ye bob baby ye de ni ko any nyoma we have come of age now. Do we need that? Especially in there your political tension one kikire bi na ya akufo-addo no. Right. Until like you shop and say people who are politically exposed say you don't call these various say they'll be given the fair trial. And in some say then you best share your man penny say because in the past yet me will be better 200 years 20 years puna na nchema wuti media kwa because na Ghana for like can one say right yet me will be 200 years based on us and the kon edu papa na onyem ranyim ni ono nkasa timi tutu ntin so me stress na akwa ni bobeti ni state channel na ho fe ya my man be 200 years san your man na ye best stress say enchina na no you advice president former vice president ba me abeka say you president on twin na ase oma no yensam domusuko yensan to adwene ni say adekwa na ye de ban enko ye say party bi pese o ye nyoma bi kwa unim the possibility be ye best adu kwa na encho bi na former year very loud. That's right. If that is the focus there but e be no chine bi no MPP nya kwan ba wo members na eden like a be quality am cancer 30 seconds ni enko
Mede sa be we na nkasa no the unconstitutionality no ene normal wo ho a M1 na say me say omo yi free mu omo nya yi free mu na ye say NDC for so be chichi MPP for a ye timam for any problem omo fanchi omo so ba omo so mfa mechi omo right and na ye sika ba bia obi a no ye sa kan de sika ne no omo wi a ne nya ye enye say e be chi omo na mom no de chance o hwe composition at say the work composition of the tribunal na omo de ba na ye 3 okay. The chairman who must be a lawyer and 2 other lay people. Then we are now acquire job for the boys.
That's right.
There have been enough now NDC chairman be or same feature baby. One district one on the become members of one. How na papa we tie tiam no. Because then a bedroom na so no na akogina NDC MPP ni na na NDC ni na te bench na super na so a na say na so betimi ahye. Me da se ka ho na omusuro no won.
Abusi out sound of bright opoku buama enka. I remember the communication team at the MPP sounds now te lawyer en akresi Agyapong or a private legal practitioner be boy the intellectual discussion no eso braso so say sorry e wojumadi so name quickly happy birthday sir abano yemfa emma omanfo a happy birthday to Doris Amma Opaku na happy birthday to Doris Amma Opaku, a student at UPSA, wishing you a year full of love, laughter, good health and blessings you never saw coming. From Teshi C Lady, Eddie out there, Emma on see, and Doris, would do out there, send Uncle so no more. Now on count, a happy birthday, and come on with your fro. I'll say happy birthday to my handsome big bro. We pray God continues to bless your steps and protect you away from Nana Santua of Kencity Media. And happy birthday to my handsome big bro. We pray God continues to bless you, your steps and protect you from Nana Asantua of Kencity Media. A happy birthday to Monica. Happy birthday to Monica. I pray for long life and prosperity for you from Sabatel of Kencity Media Limited. Happy birthday to Joseph, my prince. May God continue to bless you and keep you safe. I love you so much. Happy birthday from your mother, Eddie Emma Joseph Nono. Nana Abena Nyampong. I would say happy birthday to Nana Abena Nyampong. Wishing you a day filled with joy, good health, and countless blessings. May this new year of your life bring you greater success, peace, and fulfillment of your dreams. Have a wonderful celebrations and amazing year ahead. Happy birthday from your mother. And your day no. Happy birthday goes to the special one, Anita Afia Kelsey. Today happens to be your birthday. May God grant your heart desire. Once again, we say God bless you. From Kofi Mensah Laimumu of Kencity Media. And your day so and so birthdays are hold and I will share at the amount. I mean, I'm a baby for us say. Samsung production team me first down for Mobia from the MCR. You're Robert Finn or Justice Safo and a Hugh Sahin. Elikem and our friends to focus about Juma, Brockers in Senate, producer no ya more or Mobama Jumadi drum pempe so a dream meeting, yours truly, Kwame, Abu Kudan Kwamwa, which I'm from Air Commodore, your host with the most and your moderator. Midwasi, Yango Point more China, Ebesentia or the dialogue show so.